So I lived about 2 years in Nashville, Tennessee, from September 2017 until April of 2020. And in the time that I stayed there, I feel like I've seen the best and I've seen the worst of Nashville. And in this video, I wanted to kind of do a review for you guys, talking about my stay in Nashville. Now, throughout my life, I was living in Clarksville, Tennessee, and I actually did make a video about Clarksville, which got a copyright strike takedown notice onto it, and it was taken down. And hopefully in this video, I hope this video doesn't get taken down, as I'm just going to be using Creative Commons video, and I'm just going to be talking about my experiences in Nashville. I'm going to try to avoid getting a copyright claim. So with that said and out of the way, I was most of my life in Clarksville, Tennessee. I believe my mom moved there in 1998, and in 2017, about September around that time, I had recently got my GED and got a job at A.O. Smith, which was a water manufacturer in Ashland City, Tennessee. That job was a great paying job, and it helped me out kind of getting a good apartment in Nashville at that time to cover it. But that job was absolutely miserable. The conditions inside of that factory were really hardcore, and it was very difficult working in the type of heat and also the freezing cold, and doing the type of work that I had to do, which was moving metal, heavy metal, onto on and off assembly lines in that job. So it was physically exhausting, absolutely demanding, and over time I really became sick and tired of that job. And I left in October of 2018, and I got a job at Kroger down the street from my apartment on Charlotte Pike, at this location that I put on screen. And I worked there from February of 2019 until about March of 2020, when the pandemic hit and I just went back to Clarksville. And that job was a pretty decent enough job. I had to work night shift, of course, and it didn't pay as well as A.O. Smith, but I thought it was convenient for the fact that it was down the street from my apartment, and also down the street was Nashville State Community College, which was the community college I was attending at that time. And so everything sort of fell into place, and I was working there night shift for a period of time, stocking shelves with cans and sort of pulling out pallets of goods, or pulling out dollies and sort of stocking shelves and stuff, doing that kind of job, which was way easier than it was at A.O. Smith. And I did that until March, until I just quit because of the pandemic, like I said. And so in that time, I had the ability to sort of explore Nashville and sort of see what it had to offer. At that period, when I was working at both A.O. Smith and Kroger, I was living in two expensive apartments. And the one apartment that I was living in, I had to share with a roommate, and, well, actually 3 roommates, which I went through, which was absolutely fucking miserable. I hated having to share an apartment with 3 unreliable roommates. And I finally was able to get my own apartment, which was in, I believe it was like June or July of 2019. And I stayed there for a couple months until I left in March of 2020. And they were outrageously expensive. I mean, I remember paying half for the apartment, which I had close by to the Kroger location, and I was paying, I guess, a pretty good enough price of $600. But when I had to move out, I had to pay $1,200 for my new apartment. And I think the apartment now that I last lived in, which I believe at the time was $1,200. I believe it's now up to $1,500. So really trying to find an affordable apartment at that time was really difficult for me, especially the one that was most convenient to get to, Nashville State Community College. Nashville State was a pretty good community college. That was I guess in comparison to anything else, as a community college, it's always been sort of well reviewed. People recommended it, and I was there for a period of time, and I was trying to get a degree. I think it was my associate's, which was a major in geography, for a period of time. And it was a fine enough community college, but it was expensive on top of having an expensive apartment, and it wasn't sustainable for the fact that I didn't want to continue living in Tennessee for that much longer. So I just quit living in that apartment and quit community college altogether when I moved back to Clarksville, and finally converted a shuttle bus into an RV and moved to Austin, Texas. While I was there in Nashville, I met some cool people off of meetup.com, and I made a really good friend who I still talk to this day, as he lives here in Denver, Colorado, where I reside now. And yeah, it was fun, like going out to meetups and going to festivals and all the sorts of events that Nashville had and provided. But most of the time I was just sticking to myself. I usually would go biking around. One of the places that I would like to go to is the Parthenon, which was a really nice park, which I frequented it a lot, and I liked it for the fact that it had good paths and it was really sort of a nice area where it was. So the other kind of appeal that Nashville has is country music, and there's lots of bars and venues downtown if you like to go attend country music events. And one particular area is called Broadway. Now, me, going biking around and sort of, I don't know, doing other types of activities, I wasn't really that much in going downtown to Broadway, but as it was sort of a fun thing for other people to do, I would usually attend and just go with people to that area, as it was just loud and there was a lot of obnoxious drunks downtown at Broadway, and it wasn't really that fun for me. That is, I liked going downtown to kind of go on the bike paths that were along the riverfront, but other than that, I didn't go to that many sort of country music events, as I don't like country music, as it's everywhere in Tennessee, and I just don't want to be constantly going to a bar that's blasting it all night long. The bar that I did go to a couple times was this bar next to an independent theater called the Villager Tavern. If anybody actually ever attended that bar, let me know in the comment section down below, because that was the main bar I was going to, and I was there for a long period of time until I was getting a little bit too drunk. And this is, again, when I was drinking constantly back in Nashville, and it was developing into a real problem. So I was going to that Villager Tavern constantly getting drunk, and I got banned from that establishment, which in hindsight was a good thing, because it sort of pushed me to sort of remind myself, it really pushed me to kind of to start abandoning my alcohol addiction at that time. So all in all, it was a good thing. But after that, after sort of getting banned from the Villager Tavern, I did go to a couple other bars, but from there I stopped doing that. So most of my time was sort of biking around and going to even the downtown public library, which in comparison to the public library that we had in Clarksville, it wasn't as good, but it was still a decent enough public library. I think the Montgomery County Public Library in Clarksville, Tennessee is possibly one of the best libraries I ever went to. This is completely nostalgia speaking though, but the downtown public library in Nashville was really great, and I really liked it. And I think I don't know, I think that it's one of the good attractions and the good things that I think I would recommend people visit if you're going to Nashville, other than the other sort of historical attractions that are there. Other than that, I didn't attend any sort of Bridgestone Arena events. I didn't go to any sort of football games. I didn't go to a Titans game or anything like that. But I did go to some sort of bougie restaurants in East Nashville, which there was a large concentration of those types of restaurants in that area. And I would sometimes hang out in Madison, which was sort of a nice area. There was a couple people that I knew that was over there. But other than that, mostly biking and going around and hanging out and not doing that much. And in conclusion about Nashville, if I have to sum it up, it's a fine enough city. Now, if I compare it to where I was staying at for a year and a half, which was in Austin, Texas recently, I think that Austin, Texas is fun, and it has the same kind of level of like venues and bars. I think a little bit more options than Nashville, Tennessee, but they're not that different when you compare the two cities. Yes, Austin is much larger in population, and there are a lot more fun things to do there, but I didn't really see the appeal that Austin had, and I didn't see it as much greater than Nashville, Tennessee. What else was great about Nashville? I would go to the independent theater that was near the Villager Tavern, which I'll put it on screen, and I would usually go attend to events, watching like independent movies when I had my day off at work and stuff, and that was fun to do. I really enjoyed that. Other than that, what else did I do? Other than going to community college and working at Kroger, Not much else. Everything that was fun that I kind of remember doing in Tennessee was outside of Nashville, like going hiking in Chattanooga, or going hiking in sort of the central Tennessee hill country and stuff, which was absolutely fun to do, and I really miss those types of camping trips that I went on. But I can't really sort of give too many, high marks to Nashville altogether. It's a fine enough city. There's a lot of good and fun people. There's a lot of the southern hospitality that is there. But altogether, Nashville really isn't sort of an astounding standout city to me. There's nothing there that really attracts me to go back to it. I would say that if you are the type of person that likes working hard and working at a job where you get six-figure salary and trying to find a home, maybe it would be the best for you. But if you're trying to start a family, I would say that Clarksville was a much better option, as the housing options there for now are a lot better priced than compared to Nashville, for obvious reasons. So altogether, if I have to give Nashville a score, I don't know. I would give it like maybe a 65% out of 100%. I don't see the city as that remarkable. It's fun, but there's a lot of fun places to go to in Austin, Texas, or go to in Chattanooga or Knoxville or Memphis. I remember going to Memphis, and even though people kept warning me about the fact that Memphis has a high amount of crime, I actually liked visiting there because there was a lot of blues culture, there was a lot of great music areas in that town, and there were a lot of interesting historical sites to go to. And I thought Memphis has a little bit more of an interesting character than does Nashville. But I don't know. Let me know where I'm wrong in the comment section down below. And I don't know. It's overall, there's nothing really sticking out about Nashville that I really liked about the city. It was fun while it lasted, and I stayed there when I was living in my 2 expensive apartments. But nothing is really pulling me back to that city, and nothing is really standing out as what is so sort of unique to Nashville, Tennessee. If you like country music, I guess I would somewhat recommend it, but if you don't, I don't know how to recommend it to you. So, well, I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and let me know where I'm wrong, and let me know altogether what you guys think of Nashville, Tennessee. If you visited the place, if you live there, why is it that you like staying there? So, thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.